In this video, we'll dive deep into my current back day. Let's go! But before we jump into the exercises, it's important that you understand these 4 principles so you get the best progress out of this workout. The first one is that you always try to do the best form you possibly can and that you practice that form before you even try out this workout. Number 2, training with high intensity. This does not mean that you should always go to failure, but what I like to do is that on the first 2 sets or the first set, I always go about 1 to 2 reps away from failure. But then on the last set, I always go max out. So if you have 2 sets, you're going to go about 1 to 2 reps between 2 to 4 minutes of rest. On the compound movements, we do longer rest. On the isolations, we do shorter rest. And then number 4, you track freaking everything. You're gonna track the exercises, you're gonna track the sets, the reps, the weight, just freaking everything. This is gonna make it easier to see the progress, and it's gonna help you progress the overload later on. So the first exercise, pull-ups or weighted pull-ups, depending on how strong you are or how strong you will become. I prefer them simply over the classical lat pull-down because it feels like giving me more real strength. It's just a lot more fun and I see better progress in my back in general. Here we're gonna do 3 sets and we're gonna really focus on clean form, which means that you're gonna always try to get your shin over the bar. You're gonna have a controlled eccentric, and the less pull-ups you can do, the longer eccentric you should have. Meaning if you can do 10 pull-ups, your eccentric doesn't need to be that long. But if you only can do 3, it should be a lot longer, a lot slower, because that's gonna help you build up the endurance, the strength to do even more pull-ups. Also, don't underestimate grip. Always have a real grip. Don't have your thumb over the bar like the suicide grip. Always all the way around, and always try to lean your knuckles up towards the roof, because that's gonna give the optimal grip. And I can tell you, if you have the right grip, you can do maybe 1 to 2 pull-ups more. If you can't do a pull-up, you could do lat pull-downs, but let's try to build up your pull-ups. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. The second exercise are going to be cable rows. This is more for the thickness of the back rather than the width we get from pull-ups. And there are a heck ton of different attachments out there, but I've just found that take the one you prefer. I personally always use the bar, just the normal bar, or these 2 for the cable flies. They are really easy to get a lot of range of motion with. But just try out which one you like and pick the one you prefer. Here we'll only do 2 sets, and here's important that you pull quite explosive towards you and also slow the eccentric down, or at least control it. This makes me feel, at least, the mind-muscle connection a lot more, and I actually feel my back burn. If you just do very fast reps, but if you can't do another clean rep, I just like to sheet reps, like do half reps, use a little more momentum just to get that, to squeeze out the mayonnaise. Just to squeeze out the mayonnaise, man. The third exercise is going to be a rear delt fly, something for the real delt. Now the real delt is part of the shoulder, but it also looks like it's going to give you that demon back, it's going to bring some structure into your back, and it's important for aesthetics, but it's often undeveloped. We've already trained it when doing pull-ups, but we're still going to do another exercise, and I myself like to do the rear cable flies. If you can't do a cable machine, use some type of other machine if you have. If you don't have a machine, use dumbbells. Because the problem with cable flies is that very often they don't have light enough weight for a total beginner to even get a couple reps in. So begin with dumbbells and then later on go to the cable machine. And the last 2 exercises are going to be a tricep and 1 bicep isolation. And I like to do these supersetted, or at least with some very short rest. So max of 1 minute rest between them, just to save some time. And you can choose any isolations you like. Most of them are really good. You can, for example, use tricep pushdowns, dips, cable curls, incline curls, preacher curls, or barbell tricep extensions. I'm right now doing overhead tricep extension and easy bar curls. And you can also switch them around every 12 weeks. And here we're only going to do 2 sets per isolation. So 2 sets for tricep and 2 sets for bicep. And we're going to try to really feel that mind-muscle connection. And like the cable rows, we're going to cheat when we can't do another rep. So if you you can't do a full another rep, we're going to do half reps. We're going to use momentum to get another rep in. I'm not training arms that much. That's why I'm training so incredibly hard and cheating on these. But I feel like it works really great. It saves a lot of time, and it's just quite fun actually. This whole workout should take you like 45 minutes to 1 hour. And like I said, the key for this to work is high intensity. This is why we only have 5 exercises, because we have so few sets. Because we're training with intensity, with good form, that will be more than enough. Next week you'll see when you're doing this workout, or the couple of weeks after you do this workout, you'll see it's just going up and up and up all the time. And if you want to, you can even reduce the volume to 1 set per exercise to save even more time. But then intensity and good form and progressive overload become even more important. But if you're a total beginner watching this, don't reduce the volume to 1 set. If you're a beginner, keep the sets as they are, or even add a couple. You're doing 4 sets, and don't train as hard, just to practice your form, practice you training hard, practice the technique, the exercises, just to practice. And when you feel comfortable, you can go to the original sets. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. If you have any suggestions, you think I could make some changes, also let me know. I'm always happy to learn. Thank you for watching, have a good one, and Merry Christmas.